welcome to the Sound of Manchester. I'm Tushar and I'm joined with the two regulars, Prathamesh and Anurag here. Hello, guys. A very, very warm welcome to both of you. Hope you both are doing well.
Yeah, absolutely, brilliant.
Yeah, man, doing well. Just trying to create a new 1999 vibe because 2020 is not really giving good ones right
Anurag?
Yeah, I think uh, keeping the regular heart attacks that United keep giving, I think my day goes pretty much
Yeah, I mean, there isn't much, as I think a lot of our viewers would know that. There isn't much to celebrate if you're a United fan these days or these last few years. But, just slightly touching on the most recent United performance that we've seen. We saw a match, we saw a victory, if you can call it that. United won after the final whistle. We saw, another match in which we had more questions than answers with the team. A very shoddy performance. Got dominated by Brighton. Did not really control the midfield, and even though United were the better team in the second half, but still it never was convincing. And that Solly March equalizer, when it came, it had almost been like 10 minutes since that equalizer was coming. So how did you see that game, both of you? I just want a short word from each of you. How did you see it? We'll start with you first, Prathamesh.
For me, I think that game was pretty. Uh, it was pretty disturbing as a United fan because uh, I think there were a lot of games last season wherein we changed games in a 10-minute phase, and that kind of happened towards the end of the first half and towards the start of the second half, where we got the two goals. And obviously, the Brighton equalizer was coming ever since we scored that goal. I don't think we really controlled much in the second half. But since then, that equalizer was coming. They kept hitting the post, crossbar, and eventually it came, for Solly much. But uh, I think the penalty decision, however, you could say it was controversial, but that is the rule right now, which is a really bad one, to be honest. I wouldn't want to be a defender. But yeah, they got that penalty. Bruno converted it and got a victory, as you would like to call it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think when you look at the end of the season, these 3 points, these two extra points might matter. I'm going to look at it that way because would rather not look too far into the negative aspects as the first, second game. A lot of things to absolutely improve. But the spirit that the guys showed after going 2-2 in the last minute of stoppage time is what we really need to build on.
Yeah, I mean that's something even Solskjaer talked about. Anurag, he talked about in his post-match interview, and he said he's really happy to see the spirit of the lads. That the very fact that they created that chance, and before God, you mentioned something about being one of the only players who could have actually gone on and gotten that ball at 2-2 as he did to get United the corner.
fun.
So
Yeah.
how do you think the team management would have seen this game? I'm sure they're relieved and they'd just like to put it to bed, but the problems remain.
Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people have been telling me, okay, we got over the line for now. I think we'll have to keep this aside and move on, learn from the mistakes. How many times have we done this in the last ever since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come in? How many games have we won like in a very similar way? Starting one of my first memories under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, uh, where we won a game like this, where we were not at all good, but I think either by crossbar or David De Gea. I think the Tottenham game, if you remember, at Wembley, uh,
Yeah,
which we won 1-0. That outstanding pass from
yeah,
Pogba to Rashford.
I
That
think,
game, I
yeah,
think David De Gea made like it was one of those epic David De Gea performances, and that saved us. And starting from there, we've had so many games like that, uh, and that which starts at I think 2019 January, it ends. That continues till the Brighton game that happened right now, and I was disappointed. Yeah, obviously the way the winning goal came out. Obviously, if you're a United fan, there's no way you can't enjoy that. Obviously, that was fun. Yeah, that you whatever you want to say, that was fun. I really love that. But eventually, that euphoria stayed for like a couple of minutes, and then you
yeah,
start to look at the dark reality. And I think a lot of people argued with a lot of people about the penalty because I thought that was even with the rules being 100% correct. I think that would have been a penalty because his hand was in a very weird position, and that's
Yeah.
not where a hand should be in the first place. And yeah, I think I would actually debate that was a penalty. But yeah, again, people, different opinions. This is where football. I think that was more of a penalty than the incident that happened in the Tottenham game. That I can say.
Yeah.
So yeah, but again, uh, there was a disappointing performance. A team like Brighton, I know the Graham Potter has been marshalling them really well, but again, that team has very little quality as when individual quality when compared to us, and we really struggled. And there were, I think, we scored twice on offsides, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one the second half, the Rashford one. I thought we did score, and then the replay showed it. We did not. Again, see, first thing, I think we'll have to create more chances. It's not like we are going to concede 10 chances and we are going to uh, create two and we are going to be absolutely bang on with those two chances. This is not, I don't think
Yeah.
our team is as yet there. Ki, chalo, abhi we'll create those two chances and we'll score. It's not going to happen. We don't have that quality as yet. So at least defend properly or at least try and create more chances. We do have players who are capable of creating chances, but those players haven't been at their best. Pogba, but yeah, to be specific, but yeah, I think. Chalo, I just hope some things can improve.
Let's
Yeah,
move on. Let's move on.
I asked
Let's move
so
on.
just for our viewers, I asked both of them to shut themselves up for 45 seconds, and I went for 2 minutes. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. Let's move on.
But that's not the point. You get it. Like you can sense the despair in your voice, and no
Yeah.
one really wants to hear that. Like, see,
Yeah.
we'll move on from the Brighton game because there are so many holes to pick out in that game that we could do a 40-minute video on that match in itself. How
True.
bad the performance was,
You
and
are our Gary Neville
equally bad
anyway.
it has been.
Yeah.
Equally, as I said, Pratmesh, so has our performance been on the transfer market as well. United have been linked FC. The link to everyone. They're in. They're either linked or they're monitoring
Monitored
deals,
FC. We are the
or
personal
or,
terms
or
agreed FC.
personal terms agreed. United must have the best agent connect in the world because they seem to be able to agree personal terms, agent fees with everyone, and no one ends up coming. Because
I think we were one day away from agreeing personal terms with Lionel Messi as well.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure at a certain level, they already met. They already met. At a certain
Yeah, I think
level,
yeah,
in someone's
true.
head, Adidas will end up paying half the
Yeah,
salary, something like that.
yeah.
Some
Yeah.
bullshit like that could totally be spun
That
off.
did make
But yeah,
sense actually. Yeah.
yeah. So Pratmesh, how have you seen this absolute joke that is the transfer window, wherein even Tottenham, who tried to take out a loan, then follow its staff, and all of that bullshit, and they've ended up outspending United by almost twice the amount that United have, and they're still linked to Skriniar. They're still linked to Skriniar, and that could still happen, and that's another 50 million, 60 million euros. So,
Yeah.
how do you think United have gone?
Coming to one thing though, my favorite one is the player has looked for a house in the Cheshire area and he's liked it and he's buying it.
Has told his friends is looking for houses. My
Yeah, I
God,
mean
so irritating.
that is the best one. You know,
I even heard. I
all,
even heard.
all
So just to add to that, I even heard a rumor from one of the very very famous YouTube presenters, Stephen Alson. And he's talking about Jadon Sancho having bought a car in Manchester from a Manchester car dealership.
yeah,
I was like, okay, bro.
yeah. I mean, as long as you're getting hits, I think Manchester United is the best football source for getting hits on social media. So I think agents, clubs, intermediaries, CEOs, anyone who is a part of the footballing ecosystem likes to use United's name. And I think 95 to 98% transfer rumors that are there in the market with United are just cooked up to sell newspapers, sell podcasts. Not one, we do not create rumors, but you know that is what it does. It sells. So basically, that is what it is. Coming to Jadon Sancho, I had already given a few months back To be honest, when United announced that 140 million loan which was taken, uh, it's difficult. I wouldn't totally say that United owners don't spend, or it's like City's defense, right? You spend outrageous amount of money on players who not fit the billing. You look at the likes of Sanchez, Di Maria, even Harry Maguire for that matter. The players at whom we have signed for extraordinary amount of fees, wages, but haven't worked out. Romelu Lukaku, another one. So, it's not that we don't spend money, it's just that, we like to delay it so that it gets a lot of social media traction. You earn money from there, and then, in a way, then you invest it later. United now looking to, potentially sign Sancho in the first week of October because of the fiscal quarter issue. But the transfer market is a joke. For United fans, it's a joke. For first 2 years, if you're a newer fan, you enjoy that. You get those heart attacks and those that the adrenaline that you get from the transfer window. But after that, you just okay, doesn't matter unless it's an official announcement. You don't care. Not even Fabrizio Romano. I don't even trust him with United rumors because he said that Sancho is done. But Alex Telles is dragging on, and I mean, if you're not paying a 20 million valuation, so basically, everything is the way it is. I don't expect any movement in September. In October, definitely might expect at least in those 5 days. But the transfer market is a joke, as I said, and there is a lot of back backtracking that also happens with the money. The way it travels through agents to CEOs of clubs, and I'm sure pretty much sure Ed Woodward is also involved in this in some way or the other, the back channeling of money. But that is why it is dragging on for such a long time, which is why for all United fans, if you are looking at a transfer window, just look at other clubs, have fun considering the fact that Lazio are willing to pay 27 million for Andres Pereira, laugh about it, and go to sleep.
Laugh about it, go to sleep. Pratmesh mentioned Andres Pereira at the very end of what he was talking about, and that's he's absolutely right. That's a very interesting deal that could happen. Again, that's not a done deal. Lazio are not definitely going to pay United 27 million euros, but they have an option to buy for 27 million. Now it depends on how if Andres Pereira is able to justify that amount. We would hope that he's able to, because that would be a substantial chunk of money that United could receive from a player, from an academy player. That would be very surprising as well. It's almost 25 million pounds. It's quite ridiculous someone would pay that much for Pereira. But yeah, talking about the ins and also the outs, Anurag, you see, isn't it like a double two-pronged problem for United? You can't sell, you can't buy, and then now you can't even fucking sell. What is going on? Like, you want discounts for Telles, saying that we can get him for free in 6 months or 4 months, whatever it is, in January, right? So for three or 4 months, we'll get him for free, or we can tie him down for a free contract for next season, or get him on a knockdown fee of 50% of what they're being quoted. But then again, what they're not taking into account is that Porto have to pay 25% of the fees on to Galatasaray as a sell-on clause, and also Porto have to pay 15% of the fees to the Brazilian club from where Alex Telles has come from. It's Rio Ave, if I'm not wrong. I'm not entirely sure that it's Rio Ave, so that's another 15% there. So it's almost like 30-35%. It's not entirely 25 fee. It's all in percentages. So it's all roughly around 30-32% of the whole transfer sum would actually end up being as payment for Porto. So one can understand that Porto want more money. I don't understand why United are haggling over these 3 million when they know that if as the rumors are to be believed, when they know the Sancho is their main target. They know that they want to announce Sancho and get Sancho and everything else. They know they missed out on Reguilon because, well, fair reasons. You didn't want a buyback clause, understood. But if you want that that left back, isn't it better to get him in before the first game that we're going to talk about after this, then actually leave the manager without Telles as well?
I think what Manchester United are trying to do in an ideal, again, you have to look at yourself before you go and try to portray your dominance in the transfer market. You just have got to go and look at yourself in the mirror. what kind of a position you are in the first place. I see, in an ideal business world, if this was a Liverpool doing this similar deal with Porto over Telles, not really. See, Telles, I think the situation is pretty clear for most of the fans. So, if to those who don't know, Telles is entering his last season. So, if he doesn't leave the club right now, he has to leave the club for free. So obviously, Porto is not the financially not the strongest of clubs. They actually could end up agreeing to a fee around 10 to 12 million euros. That is true, but that will happen towards the end when absolutely there are no alternatives. And I think if that is the way United want to buy him, I think they would rather get him on like October 3rd or October 4th. So that is the ideal scenario. That is what Manchester United are trying to do right now. In an ideal business world, I think I would really appreciate that sort of a business. But United are not in a position to do that kind of stuff right now. We need that player at least for one game. In both the games we saw, our fullbacks cannot cross. Alex Telles was someone who can come in and he can instantly change that. He will keep putting those crosses in and again and again. And that is I don't know. See, any player he it's not like any player will coming in will add value, but Alex Telles coming in, he'll definitely add value. And there'll be a lot of people who will say there is this common notion that that's a Portuguese league, this is a Premier League. There's too much difference. It's not like going from school football to directly international football. Come on, there's not
But
that much difference as well.
he's playing a different quality of players, right?
Yeah, that
He's
is
playing
true.
with
Yeah,
Martial, Bruno Fernandes, players like that.
exactly. And it is only going to improve. In
Yeah.
fact, it is only going to improve. See, because one with Bruno, I was confident right from the outset that he was going to do well. Because if you looked at him with his Sporting Lisbon performances, especially with his shooting, every shot that he takes, he doesn't miscue his kicks like Rashford. Sometimes Rashford kicks it and it falls in the third tie. It doesn't happen with Bruno. His shooting, he misses by a whisker most of the time, 95% of the time. His shooting is so accurate. These are qualities irrelevant of which league you're going to play. Champions League, Premier League. I think those are going to make you a better player there. And I think there are plenty of qualities in Alex Telles that is going to help United quite significantly. And talking about Pereira, I think and the other players that are on the verge of going out. Chris Smalling has been on the verge of going out for God knows how many weeks now, and we have not been able to
Same
crack
with
a deal.
Marcos Rojo and
Marcus
Sergio
Rojo, yeah.
Romero.
Romero, yeah, another. And this is because of all the screwing up that we've done with the wage thing. I think that is the only reason that is really putting all of this at hold, because Sergio Romero, all of these people, they're earning a very hefty money, which Liverpool would not pay to Alexander Arnold. Which I hate to say this is, but it's the best right back in the country right now, in that country. They don't pay him as much as what United pay Romero, who's a second choice goalkeeper at Manchester United.
He's third now.
That currently third choice, yeah, but you get the point. So that is the state of the club, and because of all that mistakes that we've done, those are coming in very harsh on us right now. And I doubt if we'll be able to offload as many players as people are expecting. I think at best Romero will be out because he wants to play football and he deserves to play football. And Pereira, I think that's down. I think Pratmesh has been a little harsh on Fabrizio Romano. Chalo, I think that is one guy who doesn't fall to the clickbait stuff. That is one guy I can see can still
No,
trust,
but
irrelevant,
I
even
don't,
if
I
it
don't
is
trust him
United.
on Sancho. I don't trust him on Sancho.
He is not.
You can't
The
trust
thing,
anyone on Sancho
no,
because
I
the
don't
deal
think.
is a
Just a
bit.
second. If this is a serious debate, okay, chalo. What has he said wrong about Sancho? He has always said the same thing. The deal is in United's hands. You pay the money, you get him. I think that's what is always said. And what is wrong about? I think he's been spot on, if anything. Unlike our British media who always keep connecting us with different players because of the briefing that they get from the club. I think he's been spot on with Sancho. He's never really changed his stance. He said it is in United's hand. Dortmund are a club who will always keep selling. No, we'll not sell. But again, if the money comes, they'll be the first person to, yeah, please take him away.
I
You
think
know Dortmund.
I
We all
think
know
the
Dortmund.
only difference that what Fabrizio claimed initially, what the situation is right now, is that they would accept structured payments. I'm not saying add-ons, structured payments, but it's not the case now because United have delayed big time. So I think that's not going to happen. So I guess we need to move on from Jadon Sancho now. Enough said. I think let's see what happens until October 5th. If he turns up, after the Tottenham game, well and good for us. If he doesn't, then we still have the Bellish Wizard Danny James.
I'll just give you another scenario. So the news that you heard today that Jadon Sancho has not traveled because of illness, Harry Maguire. With the same thing happened with Harry Maguire. The same thing happened with Paul Pogba back in the day as well. Just a
Yeah.
few days before. If this see, a lot of people say these are weird things that you're connecting, but if a thing happens for like 7, 8 times in a row, the same thing happened with Bruno. Just a day before we got a here we go from Fabrizio Romano. He was connected with Barcelona. The United, whoever is doing the press briefing, that guy has to lose his job in the first place. It's so predictable right now. It's so
I
bad
think
right now.
he's not a press guy. I feel he's more of a social media guy. He cares more about
Exactly.
hits
Yeah.
rather than briefing the
It's
press.
it's
And
it's the script is so predictable right now. Even if we are going to sign some other big player, I think I can give you the script right from the outset. We'll agree the personal terms. We'll be like one knock of the door away from completing the deal. Then again, the great rumor starts that we have no
tell his friends, look at the
yeah
house.
that is secondary. See, personal terms will be agreed. Then United will not, what is that famous word that they say? They'll not budge into anything. They'll not
Yeah,
budge into the demands. They'll delay it for 1 month and they'll pay 5 million more than the initial valuation. That is what United does. So
yeah.
that is the one reason I still think Sancho will happen because it'll really hit the image of the board. It's not like they have a good image, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the only reasons a lot of people believe that it's just not too much of a gamble on the United name that if you don't
Mm.
do it because you've been publicly linked with them, you've not denied it. Dortmund have not denied it. No one's come out and denied it. This cannot be another Bruno like last summer, wherein you come out and say, "Oh, we were never interested." So uninterested that we go and sign him 4 months later. But yeah, go
And
on.
then in the interview, the guy who questions him, he asks him, you were linked to United for the last 2 years. How does it finally feel that you're here? So when you say publicly something and then in your MUTV interview you say this, it
Yeah,
doesn't make
exactly.
sense.
See,
So
in a way, they're taking fans for fools, which they always have been. And fans have contributed to money. Everything that United is worth is because it's followed by millions and millions of people all over the world who are willing to invest time, money, and emotions, and all of that jazz into these matches. We in India here itself, it's not that easy. In winters you got to wake up at 1:30 for matches. Summers it's 12:30 in the night, and it's not
it's not.
always
We are so
easy.
tired right now. It's 1 a.m. in the night. By the way, it's 1 a.m. in the night, and we are doing this recording.
Yeah, yeah, and oh yeah, just as an add-on, I'm not the contributory to these late record viewers. It's the two of them, the two guys who wanted to finish the record quick and fast, who've gone on and spoken about United, but you can't really blame them, can you? What United has done to us as fans is quite spectacular. Pratnesh mentioned that he's more of a social media guy than a media guy, the guy who's handling the PR. And I think it's a social media club, so social media club would have a social media guy. So that's what United is at this point. And as far as Sanchez is concerned, I'm not as negative as Pratnesh. I think he'll come. I just think it's a mockery now at what is going to happen. And he's just gone too much, and it's not going. It's not help at all. It'll definitely
If
give.
that deal does not happen, I think the repercussions of the social media which
What
Manchester
will happen?
United
No, no.
doesn't love.
So,
See,
so
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. See, I agree. I agree with this.
the
There
Bantas
is
thing.
a
Yeah, I
there
get
is
your
a
point. Yeah.
point to say. There is a point to say that Uh, okay, so there is a point to say that whether United lose social media following or whether wrong things are trending, all of that, it really doesn't change the bottom line. The
See,
dividends will still come in.
the only reason I say that is see already Mr. Great, the legendary Woodward has already come out and blamed the fans for the negativity on social media. See, there is certain negative. I'm not saying the negativity is not impacting the players. The negativity was caused by you in the first place, so you don't have the right to actually. It really could be because all our players are so active on social media. Everyone, they if if someone says they're not aware of how the fans are feeling right now, I really laugh at them. They know how fans are reacting. They absolutely know it. And if the crowd was in the stadium, I think they would have known it a lot more. And the negativity is going to double up if Jadon Sancho doesn't come. That is the only way. I think that is going to impact the side. That's how I feel it.
No, I agree. I agree with you there. I'm not denying that factor. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, it still doesn't matter to the rupees.
Yeah.
In the grand
Yeah.
scheme of things,
True.
it still doesn't matter. It still the bottom line doesn't change. United still rake in the 70 million pounds from the Champions League appearance this year.
Yeah.
They might get into Champions League next year. They might not. If they don't, the cycle repeats. They sack Ole Solskjaer, and for that matter, they can get anyone. They can get they can get Santa Claus back from the dead. It's not gonna change things. As far as this is concerned, Pratmesh, we can also have a look at the game on the weekend that we have against Jose's team, Spurs. As we speak, they're losing to Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, and
Okay.
we purposely are doing this before the Carabao Cup because I'm pretty sure, just like Spurs have done, United will not play many first teamers tomorrow in the Brighton League Cup match, and
Yeah.
we can expect some somewhat similar, similar to what we saw on the weekend. Pratmesh, what do you expect with Solskjaer? What do you expect him to go with? Do you think he'll go with the same lineup that started against Brighton, or might have a couple of changes there as well?
I think he might have to, because he will look at the Tottenham game over the weekend and probably prioritize that over the League Cup. You know, I do have a lot of sympathy with the players in a way because I myself criticized them in the last video and have been criticizing them for having this lack of fitness. But you look at it on a grander scale of thing that you realize the amount of games that these footballers have played over the last few months. After a 3 month layoff, which out of which couple of months was lockdown, they were training at home. It doesn't matter how well you train at home. The fitness for a match is different. You can't do that at home. So it's been insane the kind of football that these guys have been playing, especially in the Premier League, where you have to mention that you have to maintain that high standard of football. And United were in the run for Champions League knockout phase, so Champions League places. So it's insane the kind of games that these guys have played. But one thing that I genuinely loved is the spirit. And looking at the second Brighton game of the week, I feel both teams might play a slightly restrained team. We might get to see Van de Beek again. We might see the likes of Daniel James, um, Fred, McTominay, probably even Ponze is not fit, so you might see Mengi or Brandon Williams play. I would like to see Diego Dallo. I don't think that's happening. I think also Mensah might play. You might see Dean Henderson again. So you might see these players play, and then if required, like in the last game against Luton, Ole brought on Greenwood, Fernandes, Ashford. I think we might go on some similar lines again. But obviously, the game on the weekend is the big one, and then Jose is coming back to town. And whenever I speak about Jose, I always get a smile on the face. I personally love him for the way that he is, for the way what he was, rather, for many. But he always brings that smile. With Jose and with Tottenham, it's pretty predictable. The script almost, they will come here, they will try and score an early goal because United are really susceptible early on in games. If they get that lead, we might see the most boring Old Trafford game of the year already. And Jose might take all 3 points. But with United, you always know there is that 10-15 minute spell within the team that does change things, that does change matches, and which might happen to Jose's Tottenham because Jose's Tottenham is not even 10% of Jose's Chelsea, the defense which he had there. Tottenham do leak a lot of goals, silly goals, stupid goals, and we have been seeing that. Pretty sure Jose is going to measure the crossbar in the post. He has this, as Ole said, he might love to do that. But pretty sure that uh, we might get a couple of goals in this game because we have a decent attack, which on its day is absolutely magnificent, and I hope it's United's day on Sunday. But otherwise, too, Tottenham has that mistake or two within a game, and even Hugo Lloris does make a lot of errors sometimes, especially on the ball. So, that would be a interesting game, the one on Sunday. I'm really looking forward to that rather than Brighton. I think Brighton, the result wouldn't really affect a lot because I would be personally relieved in terms of not having to pressurize players to play in so many competitions at that optimum level. No, I know it's a trophy gone, but then in such a situation, you have to accept it sometimes. And as a fan, I've already accepted that Carabao Cup would not be.
Yeah, and I think you struggle to find many fans who would disagree with you. So I don't think Ole Solskjaer is in a position, Anurag, to take any competition for granted in that sense, because the problem is, it has a cascading effect here. If United don't end up beating Brighton in the League Cup, then that sets Solskjaer up for a very, very difficult match against Mourinho. And if he somehow is not able to get a win, then that's 2 weeks of negativity, because let's not forget there is an international break. God knows why. Sorry, there is an international break. See, it's so bad, made me cough. After this match day, that after this weekend, we got a week off, and that's that. Then that if he doesn't get the result on Sunday, he'll have 2 weeks of that, and of course with the transfer window, who knows what United are going to do there. So, what do you think? How do you think he approaches this, Anurag? Because it's very difficult, right? Because Jose, in a way, with his two victories in the Prem now after the first match day when they lost to Everton, he sort of given himself this space to actually go out and out for a draw in this match. I know Tottenham's defense hasn't been reliable enough, but provided that they will have Reguilon starting with he's a good left back. Let's not beat around the bush. United were definitely interested in him, and he played very well for Sevilla this season. He's got good stats, got good reviews as well. He's broken into the Spanish national team as well. So he's a good player, and it's a good addition to the Spurs team. They were founding. They were found wanting in the fullback positions, and so it's not really a lump and dump Tottenham that you're going to face. And so, how do you see this match going? And do you think, again, the pressure is already on Ole, if something goes wrong in either of the two matches?
Yeah, I think these are two teams that are perennially under construction, and you never know when that construction will complete. It's like an Indian road. So basically, uh, you know, I think Jose would not be as much under the spotlight as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would be in this game, because I think there for more things are at stake for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer uh, than Jose Mourinho right now, and obviously it has a lot to do with the size of the club as well. With due respect to Tottenham, so see, I think we are going to have a lot of possession, and it'll be interesting to see how the team reacts. And every time we've been given possession, you know what we do? We just do that lateral passing thing where there is absolutely no intent from anyone to maybe play that chip, which you look at Liverpool. There is their central defensive midfielder Fabinho. He tries to play those passes which Bruno tries in United. Even he tries to do that. He executes a lot of times as well. In United, there is only one player who tries to do that. So it's also about that, and that is one of the reasons. And yeah, there is Pogba, obviously, and there is Donny Van de Beek. I think we are yet to see a little more of him. I think we still can't come to a conclusion as to how well he could turn out. I really, really, really hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer picks up the balls to start Van de Beek and drop Pogba, because this is high time. I think we've seen a lot of. I think. The very reason why I use the word balls is I think last season we've seen that happen with David De Gea. He's I don't know, maybe is he scared of dropping the big wage players? I don't know what it
Yeah,
is.
I think he's like,
He's
I'm playing him
reluctant. Yeah,
300. Yeah, I'm playing him 300k,
yeah,
270k. Why should
yeah.
I make him sit on the bench?
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know if that
football
negates
works
in his
that way.
brand. I don't know what is
I don't
what
think
I
as
don't
a
know.
exactly.
I don't think as a
There,
manager that should pay on his head, right? For him, it should
no,
be
Not be.
I don't.
I don't.
I
He maybe he sees the quality of the player as well.
yeah,
That's a good thing. But again, you could to give them a reality check and to make them understand that, see, you
yeah.
might be
It's
one of the
not
best
like
players in the world. You might be one of the best players in the world. If you're not performing for 3-4 games in a row, you have to sit out. That's how a manager should be. And that way,
yeah.
the ruthlessness we haven't seen from him. I
And
hope Van de Beek starts and that sort of ruthlessness shows. Uh, so yeah, I'm expecting again that sort of a dull affair again. The same lateral passing from left to right. There'll be a bunch of passing that will go on. Tottenham will keep watching, and there there'll be a few occasions where they'll try and counter, like the way Steven Bergwijn did against United, and he absolutely left Harry Maguire to the road. Uh, so we could see something like that happen again. And both teams, as Prathamesh very perfectly put it, both teams are capable of putting a clean sheet tomorrow, and both teams are capable of conceding 2 goals each.
So Shaka, before we come back to you, one thing that I wanted to say, when Victor Lindelof has the ball, and this is not a criticism or just not trying to blame him, but whenever he has the ball and he goes running with the ball, either he tries to run towards the box, which is a really good thing because a defender carrying the ball there is really good. But once he reaches there, or once he's in a position where he's found a little wanting, he points fingers and asks, "Where do I pass the ball?"
Yeah, he's done this. Yeah,
It's deer in the headlights
that
syndrome, right?
one-dimensional. It's a very one-dimensional forward run. If you're making a forward run, inside your head, you should be sort of half ready. I know we are sitting in this convenient position. It's very easy for us to say,
Yeah.
but eventually, if you're making that forward run, most people, Upamecano, that's one of the reasons why I rate that guy so highly. He dribbles through that midfield, irrelevant of how strong that midfield. He can dribble past them. He has 3 or 4 passes already in his mind, and that's why he's been successful.
I think that is one of the reasons, the fact that he picked up these lateral passing, the one which Maguire and Lindelof in particular have, and you look at like even Matic for that matter, doesn't really look a lot about forward passes. So I think this is one of the reasons, because you have players who wonder what to do once you reach a certain stage. There are players who not move quick enough to create spaces. One, for example, if for Lindelof or Wan Bissaka is caught in a situation where they do not have an out ball, there are no forwards who are actually making those diagonal runs, or nobody's actually dropping in and allowing that that little chipped ball that would be over a couple of midfielders and create that pocket of space. So those things are not happening, and this is why we are seeing this boring lateral game. And then one spark of brilliance, one fantastic, not I wouldn't even say pass, but one fantastic touch of Fernandez, even that is enough. Just that one touch that he creates, and then we have Martial, Rashford who shoot 10 shots, and 2 of them end up in the back of the net spectacularly.
Yeah,
And that's how we win games.
Another point that I would want to add, I think Prathamesh was mentioning United can produce that 5 or 10 minute spell. I think you obviously no team can produce such kind of a spell for 90 minutes. That's obviously impossible even for the greatest of teams that have played football. Even if this team can produce that sort of football for 30 minutes inside the 90, I think we can still end up score 5 or 6 for fun against the best of teams. That this team, it has a capability. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thank you guys. Thank you for giving me a chance to speak now. just to this is pulling a legs. As far as United are concerned, my thoughts are very well known, most of them at least. So, I don't see any major improvements in the squad as of now, and immediately from now till Sunday for the squad that we have for selection. Though a point that you guys were mentioning about him dropping the big name players, I think he has been found wanting there because this was the case with De Gea as well last year. We were discussing this on different video there as well, with his insistence of not playing Romero. Then again, I felt like it was a little harsh on Romero to not play him in the Europa League semi-final. It was quite ridiculous, that Romero had played every match up until then, and then you end up not playing him. Not saying that De Gea cost us that Sevilla game. I don't think Romero could have done anything.
Yeah.
It's just the sense of loyalty that he's had for the club that I felt should have been repaid, and De Gea really had not done anything to deserve the starting spot. So that's one. The another thing is with Pogba as well. Do not understand why he ever started the season in the first team. I felt Van de Beek, who was coming in after having played internationals for Netherlands, and having been in proper preseason training with Ajax as well, for him to come out and then not actually start games, it just seems ridiculous to me. For me, what the ideal scenario would have been, playing Van de Beek with Bruno, asking the two of them to be slightly more defensively responsible, and then playing Matic behind them. Or whosoever you were going to play as the whole
Yeah,
team.
because we need to remember, Pogba's come out of COVID-19.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tiring.
No one is blaming Pogba.
Yeah.
I think the blame is on the manager here.
Yes, of course. I agree. I that is what I mean here. And because I don't understand that decision, and it's not very often that I criticize Ole Solskjaer, but yeah, these are a couple of things I just do not understand. For the rest, for the pattern of play you guys are talking about, for the 5 minute spell, 10 minute, 20 minute spell, again, man, you have to understand there are lopsided issues with the squad. There are lopsided issues. Marcus Rashford only in the last match looked good. Otherwise, he's not been good for a long time. Not good post the lockdown. He was just not good enough, and was
And
not
only
good.
the one goal. Only the one goal. He hasn't looked that good in the last
Yeah,
game,
no,
to
no.
be
I
honest.
mean, no. He looked much. I mean, compared to what
Better,
he's been
better,
doing,
yeah.
he looked much better against Brighton. One can only hope that the upward trajectory
Improves.
continues. And his goal was a very confident finish. So one would think that he'll take that into the next match. So he's a confidence player, and it was nice to see him try to take on players again, because I felt for a good couple of months he was not even doing that, and
Yeah,
feel that
personally satisfying.
yeah, because his turn of pace is his biggest asset, and that needs to be used now. With United, you will find teams with low block, but all of these big teams will play with the high line, and that's where Rashford, Martial, and Dan James or Mason Greenwood, whoever is on the right, will be mighty effective. So there are so many issues there with this team, and now come to think of our opponents on Sunday, Spurs, and Spurs Spurs don't play any kind of football that one should be worried about. They just play, even with the 5-1 result against Southampton. I felt Southampton was a better team in the first half. They did not finish their dinner in that sense. They got a goal, but they conceded a really sloppy equalizer right at the end of the first half. And then second half, you've got to give it to Heung-min Son and Harry Kane, because they're world
Yeah.
class players. They are. I mean, I know. This term gets used loosely, but Harry Kane for me is amongst the top 5 best strikers in the world, without doubt. And Heung-min
Yeah.
Son is not just a top 5 left or right wingers. He's amongst the top 3 wingers in the world, without doubt. And probably the
And
best.
he's
Probably
injured.
along. Yeah,
He's
he's injured.
injured,
He's
so.
injured. So he'll be a massive miss. He'll be a massive miss for
Thankfully.
Tottenham, and thankfully he'll be a massive miss for them. So that's something that United can look forward to. But as far as the game is concerned, I think we've discussed it enough. Just as final predictions, guys, what do you think will be the score? We'll start with you, Pratnesh.
I'm going to be really brave in saying this, but I feel it's going to be 3-2 Manchester United.
3-2.
Yeah.
All right. Now that'll be a fun game, man. If that is like that, Anurag, do you think we'll
No,
even have 5?
Jose has this quality of producing boring 3-2 games as well. So let's not really go there.
So
It can be 3-2. It can be 3-2, but not necessarily interesting. It can be full of mistakes as well.
yeah. So yeah. He's taking my cue from Pratnesh. I was just about to say this. Would it be a 3-2 where we have only like 3 shots on target and a couple of own goals or something like that? I mean, how do you think it will go? I don't personally don't think we'll probably have 5 shots on target in total. Because I don't trust United to do that. The Tottenham definitely, unless Harry Kane gets sitters, won't be doing that. So how do you see the game going?
I think Tottenham will be reliant heavily on the set pieces, the corners, and everything. That's how they got that win at Old Trafford 3-0 a couple of years ago when Jose Mourinho was at the other side of things. So yeah, I think that's where they'll be more heavy. United again will have all the possession, a lot of lateral passing, as I already said. I think I'm guessing this will go 2-1 down to United, and I'm expecting Bruno Fernandes to do a good job.
Wow, I think this definitely matches. This match is definitely getting jinxed now, because
Yeah.
I was also thinking of predicting a win for United. How can all 3 of us predict wins, dude? Like, we cannot be on the same page about United.
Let's say
at all.
I've been a little half-hearted with the win. I must say I'll go with 1-1 then. I actually, to be honest,
No,
I've been a bit half-hearted. I have been a bit half-hearted.
This is exactly the kind of thing that the club has done to us. We just can't seem to agree on one thing because it doesn't feel rational. Somehow,
No, this is because as
United
being a
winning again
United,
doesn't seem rational.
yeah, as being a Manchester United fan channel, I thought let's do let's say what the heart says, but again, let's not.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll just stick to my guns there. Let's go for a complete, turnaround 2-0 victory. Get a clean sheet. Or they can tap Jose again on the head. Maybe give him a couple of pointers there. Yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for joining. This has been a long one, and once again, thank you so much to our supporters, to our viewers and subscribers. Please do keep sharing the video around with all your United and non-United friends as well. we'll have a lot of despair and helplessness from United fans, which I'm sure a few rival fans will enjoy watching that. Everyone has their time. This is ours. So once again, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much to everyone else for tuning in. Let's hope United can, do something to make us proud and they do not let us down on Sunday. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.
The Jose Derby. Let's go!